Welcome back to the Black Feather Bar. Today, we're here for a new episode of In Good Spirits, the series where we interview interesting people in the alcohol industry about trends, education, and passion. Today, we are joined by two of the owners of Portland Distilling Company. We have Couch and Matt. Today, we're going to talk to them and get right into some of the knowledge and background of their distillery. So really quick, guys, I know that both of you guys kind of came from bartending before you started dabbling into distilling over here, right? So what kind of shaped your guys' background, and how did you decide to transition over?
Oh, man. So for me, I think it was wanting to still be involved in like the hospitality beverage industry, but maybe shifting a little bit towards something more stable and routine as opposed to like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, after a while that starts to drain on you. You know, I bartended for 20 years and saw a lot of sunrises. And so after, you know, 1,000 3 a.m. closings, I was like, you know what, maybe it's time to start stepping back a little bit from this hustle.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It can be very draining.
My background is a little further departed. I grew up formatively behind a bar in Boothbay Harbor. It's really what I fell in love with the industry. Felt like it was run by pirates and thieves, and I happen to love both demographics. And really enjoyed my time with it. It was delicious chemistry and alchemy. And so I'd never really lost my hand in it, even though I'd formatively changed careers after college. But always having access to it or the people in that world was delightful. And I always wanted to keep my hand in some way, shape, or form at or in the service industry. It was something I really was always passionate about.
Yeah, ultimately, at the end of the day, that's really, I find, a big binding element for a lot of these people who are in the industry is we all had such a passion for both, whether it's the craft or honestly, simply just like making somebody's day better. One nice drink at the end of the long work shift, fix a person's day.
Certainly can.
Yeah. Now, did you guys face some struggles in getting to this point? And what would those struggles be?
I mean, certainly opening up any kind of venture, I'm sure, comes with a long line of hurdles. For example, I mean, it's a risk, and it's a scary risk because obviously, you know, we still haven't made $1 yet. Hopefully at some point we'll be paying ourselves, but like it's a big risk to devote, you know, 40 hours a week at least of your life to something that essentially doesn't monetarily benefit you.
Right.
And with anything too, there's a learning curve because as much as we, you know, practice and did trial runs on small stills and things like that, scaling up recipes, things to that effect, definitely there's some runs that went right down the drain.
Right.
Also, you know, more like on the city side, Portland's kind of notorious for being a little difficult with their code enforcement, things like that. And so learning how to navigate those avenues so that the city gives us the go-ahead to actually open the doors was a long journey. But, you know, like at the end of the day, it feels a lot cooler doing 40 hours for something that's yours as opposed to 40 hours doing something like I could be in here sweeping the floor all day and it'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that level of ownership is.
Yeah, and it certainly makes the hurdles worth it.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that kind of thing. It's like when you're working for yourself, it's a lot more freeing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think something that if I were to go back in time and talk to past Matthew about the time involvement required behind the scenes, I think it would have been a very sobering discussion. So there are 3 operative partners, and we all work incredibly hard and effectively became the second full-time job you have. And there are so many linkages in a small business that people who just see the bottle or just come into the tasting room, the warehouse, and the production space don't appreciate that needs to happen. all the steps, the things you have to learn because no one teaches you. And you learn often by making mistakes over and over. Whether that be the recipe design, running your equipment, dealing with bookkeeping, logistics, procurement, supply chain, legal. There's 100 steps that small business owners have to get thrust into and have to be fairly competent in order to make sure that the business runs. Because you can have a great product, but if you run yourself directly into a cliff financially, the product won't survive. So it doesn't matter how good it is. So we all have to wear so many hats and do so many things. So not only do I help balance the books, I'm also the head janitor. Like, you got to do everything.
Yeah.
So, you can't say like, oh, I don't feel like doing that today. No, the business requires this of you.
Right. Needs to be done.
Yep. So it's a ton of effort. It's a huge hill to climb. But again, like, it's all the satisfaction. I kept talking through the whole process of getting open with Couch and Caleb about how many like L's we were taking dealing with city bureaucracy and all the things that happened. But the W's were the people. Like, the human connection of people that dove in headlong to help us, to offer advice, to offer assistance wherever they could, to do some outreach, whatever it was. Humbling, insanely humbling. And that was the bread that fed our souls to get us through this process.
That's beautiful, honestly. And yeah, so you then also find that even if you don't feel like it, cleaning the bathroom someday, but it is necessary for the business, you find that the necessity is so more fulfilling than if you had to do it like just because your boss told you.
Oh, 100. Oh my God. Yeah. It's not a comparison. I mean, you are your own boss, and the person that made your life hell, which is yourself, constantly is asking things of you. But the satisfaction at the end of the day truly is that this is something that 3 idiots that love each other and love this product have built together. And that feels fucking magical.
Pretty all right.
I'm okay with it. It feels pretty good.
It's great. Yeah, exactly. And now talking about that particular magic, what would you say to somebody to differentiate your guys' distillery from any other distillery, or particularly your beautiful product, Goldies Gin? What would you say makes you guys unique?
Yeah, we were actually kind of yapping about this last night, about how sometimes it feels like there's so many places that truly rely on such an elaborate narrative and so much kind of esoteric preciousness to specifically set them apart from other distilleries or other producers of anything. And I think this is more of a little bit of like a counterculture where we aren't trying to be precious. We're not trying to be something so lofty and separated from everything else. This is just good, affordable gin. And if that makes us unique, I think it's a testament to the climate in the distilling world right now. But we figured that if we would want to drink it, other people probably would want to drink it. So we just made something that's reliable, standard, affordable. Not everything has to be gilded with, every type of hand-foraged botanical. Like, sometimes it can just be good.
Putting myself in that position, looking at that question, often you want everyone that does this to say like, oh, we put real heart and soul into our product. And that's, if you're going to make something that you want to last, that's sort of table stakes. Everybody should be doing that, hopefully. It should be, although we all know that that's definitely not all the time.
Right.
But I think, looking at what we're trying to do, and you perfectly pointed it out, that last night we talked about, some of these products that are out there that have these unbelievable hoops they jump through to create this very bespoke product, this liquor that goes in a bottle and so on and so forth. And sure, and that's fine, and that's well and good. But when we sat down years ago to kind of challenge some of those old stodgy, English brands and a lot of them are perfectly beautiful, lovely. We were talking about the virtues of Plymouth last night. Yeah. How lovely that gin is.
I love Plymouth.
It's fabulous, and not a damn thing wrong with it. And honestly, it's totally acceptable and wonderful to have something that just is made by people that care.
Yeah.
End of story. Like it doesn't need to come from some wild farm made by the indigenous people of so and so all the time. That's fun and interesting at times, sure, but just three idiots that love gin and really want to make something good for the homies.
Yeah, that's a very good place to be. Now, that does actually kind of raise some interest with me. Is that I think it was last time I came up, I spoke to you, had a really good time. I think a big note that I took home really was I found there's a little bit of an individuality in trying to be the bartender's friend, like, right? Like you're trying to be like on that speed rail. You want to be like the best friend of that bartender. You're making a good quality, affordable
House gin.
House gin. Exactly. It's, you know, if you don't say specifically that you want Plymouth in that last word, you're getting Goldies.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I don't want to put words in your guys' mouth. Then that's the goal that you're going for. Yeah.
Yes. Essentially, yeah. I mean, we kind of thought, and the mantra always is it's supposed to be the tool. It's not the star.
Right.
And having something that is a little bit more utilitarian, I think, was a really good motion for us. Because if this gin came in and you look at it and you're like, like, what is the cocktail that this gin wants to be?
Right.
Versus just, what cocktail do I want and can I just throw this in there? And I think that that's a really big distinction, because I'm sure there's a gin out there that makes the best Southside you've ever had.
Of course.
But you better not use it in a martini, and holy shit, it makes a terrible Negroni.
Yeah.
But that Southside's awesome. And like, that to me was not something I would ever, even behind the bar, those are spirits that I typically tend to drive away from, because they're so particular in the way they want to be used. The gin, to me, Goldies is just something you don't have to think about.
Right.
Are you gonna have a gin cocktail? Hell yeah, grab it. It's super easy and it works with everything.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing we did when we had that eureka moment of like, holy shit, this recipe that we just ran, I think that's it. And we just proofed down a bottle, ran it back to the bar, and just made every classic we could think of. Like, let's figure out how it fucks up. Because if it makes 5 out of 6 cocktails great, let's figure out a way to make that 6th one also great, which is recipe tweak. And it worked for all of them. Even the one, like, it is big citrus, but it even sits in a dirty martini really, really well, which is super fun. And that was the one we were kind of like the most concerned about. Not that it's the big frequent flyer behind a bar is like dirty gin martinis, but it should cover all your bases.
It depends. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's actually really interesting that you mentioned a little bit earlier a little bit of the financial aspect that comes with starting this kind of business. Is obviously it's a very big burden that you take on inherently. I had a little bit of experience working in a distillery. We had essentially they opened up a tasting room much too soon to what they had. They had a vodka and they had a gin. They were both in our own state's liquor store. And they were just like, we want to push the product and we want to be able to show them what to do with it. So hire an outside person, that's me, to run the tasting room, create a menu, everything. And they realized very quick that it's difficult to start outside hiring that soon when they were like, we're not even earning money.
Right.
How is it fair to try to pay somebody when we don't even earn a profit? It was incredibly difficult to get outside staff. So very quickly it became hard for them to hold on to people that they were trying to hire to try to, push the brand and hold the brand hard. Oftentimes you need just that staple of a few people who care a lot about the business, who are oftentimes potentially owners in the business, who believe in the product, push the product, and go out on a limb for the product. I'm sure you guys have one of you three who are like going and doing tastings at liquor stores and going to bars to advocate for your product yourself. You're not. It's difficult to outside hire for that at this stage in the game, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure. And again, that speaks back to the concept that we all wear the same hats, right? So, I spent all of Friday on the road shaking hands, putting bottles in front of bartenders and retail spots. And, on Wednesday, Couch and Caleb went to New Hampshire to start introducing ourselves to bars in our first new state. And it's something that requires a lot of time, energy, and sacrifice, because you do have to, for the beginning, and we're 14 months in being officially open, you do have to wear all the hats, do all the things at pro bono, and the money has to stay in the business for a good long while to make sure the business can sustain itself. Most of the places that I know that have opened and have started with a full tasting room, and like we have a lounge. It's adorable and we love it here. It's our little tree house. But we don't staff it. We don't it is modest at best, because the money stays in the business to pay the bills, to do the things, to make sure you have it. And again, on a creative small business level, you need the people that are the creative minded individuals that can design the recipe, build and design an aesthetically pleasing label, have an experience out of a bottle that sings and speaks to people at both the retail and on-premise level. And then you also need the business acumen to make sure that we don't implode financially. And if we don't do that, if we don't have both sides of the spectrum, then everything falls apart.
Right.
So you need both sides.
Can you run us through the distillation process and what every little batch takes to realize a full bottle, multiple bottles, obviously, in Goldies Jet?
Yep. So, man, this is actually something that we're really excited to do, especially kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit, because distilling's always been this mysterious animal, especially to people that don't really understand how the process works. But mechanically, it is one of the most simple things that you can think of. It's literally just collecting steam. And so what we do essentially is our juice, a mixture of alcohol and water, goes into the still. We pitch our botanicals right in there. So we're using the classic 7, juniper, coriander, always going to be your big 2 in gin. For citrus, we do lemon peel and orange peel. Mm-hmm. The licorice root is what gives it that really nice sweet mid palate. And then for fixatives, the things that kind of hold on to aromas, we do orris root and angelica root. Mm-hmm. Right. But once we turn the still on, you just kind of let it come up to temperature. And because alcohol is a lower boiling point than water, combined, they kind of both drop down. And so at about 170 to 175 degrees, we start getting vapor. And the ethanol, because it's an azeotrope of water and ethanol, the ethanol will actually volatilize before the water will. So you get this highly concentrated ethanol steam that comes up and off of the juice first. Then you just need to find a way to turn that steam back into liquid. So it runs down a line arm, and then it hits another piece of the still called the condenser, which essentially is just a series of tubes in a water bath. And if you think about, steam in your bathroom when you're taking a shower, it condenses on things that are cold, like your bathroom mirror. Right. And so if we can do that, we can turn that steam back into liquid and then collect the liquid. If you want to distill water at home, you just put a lid on your pot of water. And when you pick it up and all that water runs off, that's distilled water. It's super, super, super easy mechanically. The trick therein lies is finding a way to make it taste good, which I think is one of the biggest issues, because the beginning of the run tastes awful and the end of the run tastes awful. So you actually have to trim off pieces of the heads, tails, and hearts. Mm-hmm. And so the hearts are what you want. And realistically, we've got it down to a pretty good routine right now where we can almost by minute turn the knobs. But the only way to truly make a cut is by taste. You can pH, you can proof, you can temperature, you can time, but without like kind of a palate to be like, this tastes like garbage now, or know what you're looking for to taste that garbage. It's a little tricky, because even when we cut from heads to hearts, it's still 160-ish proof. Exactly.
I'm sure incredibly difficult at 160.
You start to gain an appreciation for spicy juice.
Yeah, you could almost drink Everclear and be like, I can
A good month.
I can notice.
But yeah, essentially the long and short of it is we're making tea flavored vodka and then redistilling it. The beauty of it is the tea is made of our own blend of juniper, coriander, etc.
Yeah.
But I always will appreciate being super layman and open with like procedure, because like I said, there's such a mysticism behind distillation. It's this like magic, rig of stainless steel and copper that nobody really talks about. Like, how does it work? And it's just like, we're just boiling a pot of water and catching the steam that comes off, realistically. And to kind of educate people maybe gives them an opportunity to realize or to further their expanse or their grasp on distilled spirits, and maybe shed some light on that juice that's in a really beautiful etched gold-lined bottle maybe is the same juice that's in a plain Jane plastic bottle,
Right.
a la vodka.
Yeah. When you mentioned that, I mean, I was thinking about some of that mysticism. I mean, on my own page here, the BlackFeatherBar, Instagram and TikTok, you'll be able to find. I have a series called Drinksplaining. I mansplain about drinks.
As long as we own it.
We found that very funny. As long as we own it. The Understanding Chartreuse episode that we did was particularly a very like mysticism based episode. I mean, like I just brought some chartreuse over to you guys. We're all big fans of that. It's a favorite of bartenders. I talk often about it's the mysticism of this comes from the Elixir of Life manuscript handed to the monks in 1605. It's a close, tight-kept secret where some of the monks know some of the recipes. Supposedly, if they live a very isolated life, it's very dense in mysticism, but it's very interesting and a bit of relief, I guess, to hear some of the more casual understandings of it. It's not this thing that like only select people can do.
Right.
It's
Other than the legal piece.
other than the legal piece, of course. Don't do this at home. That's moonshine is a thing. But yeah, Ian, did you have anything to add to answer as well?
No, we've been perfectly transparent with everyone that comes in and asks the questions. I mean, the likelihood of somebody like grabbing a recipe and trying to replicate it at home, good luck. Go for it. Have fun. I don't care. Try. There's
a cold compound
yeah, please.
time, which I imagine that's
It's a different ball game. Different ball game. But I coming from originally like years ago, coming from working tangentially in the beer world, there was for a long time there was a lot of guarded elements in that, and brewers wouldn't speak about their process, what they used, what went into things, because they were so like pearl clutchy about this is my specific recipe and I don't want anyone to touch it or try it or play with it or et cetera, et cetera. And there were some that weren't, of course. There were some that were absolutely fully open about everything they did. I respected that. And honestly, it's just because I can put water and, malt and hops and yeast together in the same combination. And I've tried this. It does not come out the same way that like a larger institution will make it. So what is the purpose of me withholding information? So no, we've been really transparent with everyone that's ever asked. And we just want to take out the question marks and insert some sense of, you now have some understanding of it, and therefore people enjoy more of the things that they can speak tangibly about. And that to me feels really comfortable, and I love it.
Yeah, that's incredible. So what trends are you guys seeing in the spirits or cocktail industry right now that you think is particularly relevant, I guess, to Goldie's gin or just...
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's a little bit like, playing the stock market, because you can call trend or call a shot, but like a lot of times it does what it wants to do.
Yeah. I like to gather, I've asked this question about basically everybody here, but what are the trends at your field?
But I think I'm really happy with the way that the bar industry seems to be trending, because over the past 10 years, and especially being like entrenched in it, I saw just this wild arms race to like who can be the weirdest behind the bar.
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to fall back into this really nice kind of trough where people are getting excited about classics again and really stripping things down and experiencing things by themselves, for themselves. And kind of, there were a lot of people that I saw enter the bar world, and before they could make a daiquiri, they were trying to clarify a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
And fundamentals, I can't stress enough, like you got to learn your basics before that in any sense of the word. And I think too that with this drive down into classics that we're starting to see, it's taking a lot of the focus off the product, which I think is fucking wonderful, because bars are social atmospheres and you're there to be social. I don't think you're typically there just to like oogle a drink and be so enraptured by what they're putting in the glass. I'm seeing a lot more people get excited about who's working. And even seeing a lot of that from like the marketing side of my time of Blythe and Burroughs, for like the easiest example is like you could take the prettiest photo of a cocktail on a bar and people react fine to it. But if you take a
Next episode, by the way, is at Blythe and Burroughs.
But if you take a picture of somebody making any drink in the world, it doesn't matter. People respond really well to people. And I think that like driving that bar back into that social atmosphere, back into like, I'll just get a drink. Who cares? What I'm here for is to be around fucking people and to talk to people. Yeah. And I think that that's such a wonderful transition in my mind. And I hope that I'm right calling that trend, because bars can be the most fun places in the world. They can also be stuffy and pretentious when everybody's just staring at their drinks.
Yep.
Yeah. So give me a cold yellow beer and a friendly neighbor, and that's all I want.
Do you think that that's something that's maybe potentially lost with the trend of, I know I'm doing it, the trend of kind of the online mixology, the home bartenders kind of thing? Do you think that's maybe something that's, and you know, not like condoned or not, sorry, not condemned, yeah, but is, you know, maybe you're losing a little bit of something because it's a little bit more about serving the customer and making sure that they have a fantastic time no matter what your own preferences are on particular drinks.
I think if anything, the home education is actually driving that trend more than people think, because people are more aware of what the drinks actually are. And if you're not so enraptured by buzzwords and fancy ingredients because you're familiar with them, it takes a lot of the weight off of that and pushes it more towards being able to like enjoy the experience as opposed to enjoying the product. And so the death of the cocktail bar was when I could get a Negroni at Rooski's.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the coolest damn thing in the world, because when your dive bars are making the same things that your cocktail bars are, the cocktail bars either need to really elevate or change a model, because I love a bar because it's experiential, not because they make the best fucking margarita. Who cares?
For our viewers at home, Brewski's is the most delightful dive bar, one of the most delightful dive bars here in Portland. But yeah, I think the demystification, kind of going back to that same theme that we had discussed before, right. Listening to, you know, whether it be the Educated Barfly or the Thirsty Whale or any of those, how to drink, Jasper, I forget his last name. He's delightful. Yeah,
big shout outs to a bunch of these people, by the way.
I'm an avid consumer of this content, and just because it's entertaining, and obviously, like, I really enjoy getting access to some of the history of some of these classic cocktails, and I think that's worth a lot, and that's certainly valuable.
Costs and see Truffles on the Rocks.
Yeah.
Kind of pair them. Not to say that they're the same channel, of course, but like I almost pair them together in that they are the like always trying to elevate
Yeah.
to channels that I know of.
And I think an interested consumer makes interesting choices,
Yeah.
and they become slightly more differential when they come to their palates, or they start learning. And I think that's super fun. And beyond just the entertainment value, of course, there's the enrichment, which I enjoy as well.
But I think kind of circling it back, as long as the game is pushed to be to what you were saying about classics coming back. I think you see these big sine waves in the industry, like in the 80s, and really shitty bright cocktails made with orange curacao that was absolutely insipid to drink, but it was super pretty. And then now we've gotten into the whole like functional classics again, which is lovely. You're drinking for really, for the experience of it, and the fact that these are delightful cocktails. I think that's marvelous. I certainly do hope it continues.
Yeah, I'm incredibly surprised, but also enthralled a little bit in that people are taking a little bit more time and attention to focus on the quality of some of the classic cocktails out there. Thinking particularly about the bar Martinis in New York. Have you heard of them? They're one of their bartenders there. I saw him recently on this page where it was like a bunch of different bartenders making their own version of a martini. And this guy, incredible. He was like, this is just how we make a classic martini at our bar of Martinis. And so we do a 6-to-1 ratio. He uses Boodle's gin. I don't think he named the vermouth that he used, but he said it was a 6-to-1 ratio. The Boodle's gin is vermouth. He chills the glass before adding anything, adds his gin, adds his vermouth, and he has just a big rock with a smaller rock on top of it, and he stirs it for a very long time, making sure not to add any kind of aeration to it. So he's making sure that he's very smooth in his movements in doing this, not to agitate it too much to add air into this cocktail. And trains it into like a chilled, it was a little bit more of those like less wide martini glasses, they have
Not quite a Nick and Nora.
Yeah, not quite a Nick and Nora. Like it's almost like kind of reminds me of a champagne flute, but it's not as thin as that, but it's also not as wide as a martini glass. It's almost like where martini glass is here, champagne flute's here. It was like here, beautiful glass. And he just like kind of very barely missed it over like a lemon peel. Incredible. I mean, I love that people are going like, this isn't just a dump your gin, dump your vermouth, stir it for like 5 seconds, pass it over to the customer. It's like, no, this is something that we take very much pride in, making something that's just a 2-ingredient drink.
With intention.
It's intention, exactly. Is that people are caring about the intention that they're using in their cocktails, and I find that just very incredible. Yeah. Do you guys, speaking of intention, do you guys have any particular cocktails? I know you said you kind of went through the ringer on it. Do you have any particular cocktail that you would say is either specialized or like your favorite to use specifically with your guys' gin?
What time of the day is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's either, for me, it's Negronis and gimlets.
Yeah.
And those...
Negroni with it was very nice.
Those are, I mean, you got one stirred, you've got one citrus, so like you can play both sides of the field, but I love a gimlet.
Yeah.
And it's so simple and just so perfect. I would take a gimlet every day, but I probably drink more Negronis with it anyways.
That's fair.
Because I don't have to work too hard to make a Negroni. No shaking.
No shit. I'm very much in the same camp. I keep a frozen bottle of Goldies in my freezer for martinis, with Torino Bianco and in the fridge. And boy, I'll have one or two or more as the night goes on, because like you're not asking anything of it. It's proportions, stir, be careful with it, pour into chilled coupe. Done. End of story. Citrus done. And I mean, obviously, like it really depends, right? In the middle of the day, at the end of the work shift last night, we were here until 9:30, and we had a beer. It was delicious. It was delightful.
Sure was.
All I wanted, yellow fizzy beer. Perfect. Or like vodka soda, splash of Vango. Like I don't need much to be super content.
Yeah.
I think if the ingredients are good, they should be able to stand by themselves. And like, that's one of the things about clear spirits. There's nothing to hide behind. There's no, if it's made well, made correctly, there's no barreling that tried to modify itself. You know, it's when we sat down and tried to make this, like, the adage, the Pilsner of gin kind of came up. There's nothing to hide behind. Make it delightful by itself. Crisp and classic done. And so, when I have just a drink at home, it's clean, classic, bubbles, gin, done, relax.
Love it. Yeah. So actually, I was curious. Do you guys have any further products that maybe potentially in the works that you haven't like quite officially announced or anything? Of course, it's okay if you can't. It's okay if you can't quite tell us, but I'm very excited to I want to see more of what Portland Distilling Company.
The short answer is not right now.
Okay.
The long
Answer is we've talked a lot about doing some other things. Secondary flavors of gins, maybe doing some aged things that aren't aged gin.
Yeah.
We tried a little aged Goldies and we weren't happy with the way it was presenting, so we kind of tabled it for a bit. But realistically, one of our mantras the entire time has been like, do one thing really well.
Yeah.
And the more we dilute our SKU line, like our product list, the more that we kind of lose the idea and the driving force behind Goldies. And holy shit, man, if Goldies is keeping us busy, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Until we actually have free time and downtime and even time to think about it, like, stay the course.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about emulating even like one of the OGs in the beverage industry in Maine is like Rob Todd from Allagash.
Praise be Rob Todd.
That entire company was essentially founded on one perfect beer.
Yep.
And Allagash White still to this day is an absolutely miraculous beer. Just so perfect, so true to style, so classic, and it paved the way for like 15 years down the line. He's like, let's do something else.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something to be said about that model where a flagship can really carry the weight of an entire company for a long time until you find the free time to do some really fun and silly shit.
Yeah.
If I had infinite money and didn't have to sell a single bottle, I'd make Eau de Vie because it's really fun and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Just like fruit brandies. But like for any kind of like fermented. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But fruit brandies are awesome, but they're expensive and nobody buys them.
Yeah.
But maybe 20 years down the road, I'll have a little Eau de Vie hut out back that's paid and provided by Goldies.
Yeah. I mean, not just fruit brandies, but like think about like Aqua Perfecta, like basil Eau de Vies. Like there's some wild and weird and fun things to be made. And I agree. Again, other than the diversification of the line of Goldies, like either by size format or I still want navel strength. I'm going. I know. I want it. But no one in this state has done a reasonable single malt. But the problem is that by the time I have that ready, I'll be probably at retirement age.
Yeah.
So like, so that's
it here.
yeah. By the time it comes out of the barrel, some 20 years down the road, I'll be like, well, time to sell the old boy, and I'm done. So it's really tricky. And, we could go down the list of lovely spirits that are made out there. But like I personally, and we've all discussed, like an agave-based spirit feels disingenuous. I cannot make a rum that competes against Plantation/Plantaray or Ray and Nephew or, any of those Hamilton against any of those guys at their size and scale and their pedigree and the way it tastes. It's incredible. No, I can't do that. So, and then vodka feels like a race to the bottom. So I think we're in the perfect lane for what we want to make, for the things that we have, for what we're trying to occupy in the space and time. And honestly, you put us in 5 or 10 or like half the Eastern Seaboard, we're going to be swamped.
Yeah.
Swamped. And I'm ready for that. I think that to me is the exciting element of putting our heart and passion project into so many hands and be known for, oh, those guys make one thing and it's delightful.
It's a great change.
I love that.
Yeah.
I would love to be known as that.
Absolutely. I like that. This has been great. So in closing, I kind of wanted to just ask a couple of questions, I guess. So to start off, do you guys have any kind of tastings or promotions coming up that some of the viewers might want to be aware of? We have some people in New Hampshire, of course, as the immediate audience. That's where I'm from, but that's the New England area, so possibly quite a few people near you.
We have a small pop-up with Noble Kitchen and Bar
Kitchen and Bar here in Brunswick, Maine.
up in Brunswick. And I believe that's on the
25th of September. Yep. So we'll be featured as part of that. And that'll be great.
If you're in New Hampshire, I believe, and you're in the Portsmouth area, I believe Botanica picked us up. They may be. It's in Portsmouth. It was just like a little gin bar that we stumbled across. Yeah. And oh, gotcha. They picked us up, or they reached out and said they did. So if you're in New Hampshire and you want to try and find some on a shelf, that's, I think, the first place. But hopefully we start popping up around there. As far as like tastings go, we haven't booked anything out right now. I don't.
No, we've got. I mean, we've got a small tabling event next month, again in Topsom, Maine. But in terms of big events or splashy things that we have, we don't. Harvest on the Harbor.
Oh, Harvest on
the Harbor in October here in Portland is a showcase of food and distilling, and we'll be there giving gimlet laybacks to old women in their 70s, which is probably one of the most funny things I've ever seen in my life. God bless them. And feel free to show up. We'd love to meet you. I don't think tickets are outrageous, and I think it's all you can drink, so that's kind of unhinged. But it's a lot of fun. But yeah, we just got into New Hampshire. We're going to start working our way through the bar scene as best we can. We'd love to meet you if you happen to be a bartender, or bar manager, or bar owner. We're very interested in getting a chance to get to chat. But I think it'll be next spring in March when we actually go onto potential retail shelves. And we're currently in contract negotiation to start working in Mass. So that is coming TBD.
Nice. And I will be. You're a bar owner that I know in New Hampshire as well. I'll probably be coming to you guys because I like this product and I'd like to be like, hey, give that a try. Love that. So where can the viewers find your products at this moment?
Oh, man.
If you cross the line into Maine, it's in a lot of spots. We're currently in 97 retailers. We're in that we know of, because getting access to perfect accounting is very challenging at the small level. But we're in somewhere north of 220 bars and restaurants and resorts here in the state. So you could buy our bottle anywhere from Madawaska, the topmost town in the state of Maine, all the way down to Elliott and Kittery, right down next to our friends in New Hampshire. But yeah, ask your local bartender, just check for us. You'll see a bright gold label. That was one of the incentivizing elements to make a very bright, alert, colored bottle so it would catch your eye. Hannaford carries us, Shaw's, Whole Foods, Costco, and a number of other individual retailers that we're super enthusiastic to support.
And I think pretty much every single bar in Portland.
Yeah, if you walk into Portland, you find someplace that doesn't serve us, I worry about their credibility.
Yeah, I just came here for a visit a couple of weeks ago, and I went to some random brewery, and in the brewery, I found.
Oh, cool.
I say random, but random to me because I've never been there. It was right next to the cryptozoology.
Oh, Bissell.
Bissell.
Oh, yeah.
Bissell pours a lot of us, and bless their hearts for doing so. And then right next to them, Leisure Time Cocktail Company, run by our friends Kai Parrott Wolf. What a name! And they are a draft cocktail service spot and get ready to do RTDs at some point. So they do a lot of work with us. We love them to death. They are wonderful.
Absolutely. So then, any final words that you may have for our viewers about who may be interested in cocktails, distilling, or anything that you may have?
I'll let you go first.
The first time you let it.
So reach out to us on social media. Certainly, if you're interested in getting a chance to connect with us, we'd love to meet you. Goldie's Gin and Portland Distilling Company are both active. Happy to reach out and connect with any of you guys there. For certain, our tasting room is generally open every weekend, and that is typically 2 to 6 on Saturdays, noon to 6 on Saturdays, 2 to 6 on Sundays. And happy to pour you a cocktail and just get a chance to share with you the thing that we love the most in the world, which is the spirit and us and this space.
We'll have all of their socials in the description below.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, if you're interested in cocktails or interested in the spirit world and you're in Portland, just come by.
Yeah.
We're always happy to chat, talk about drinks, but like the easiest way to, if what you want is education, the easiest way to do it is just to immerse yourself in.
Yeah.
So go to a bar, talk to a bartender, ask questions, buy a bottle of something you've never tried.
Yeah, for sure.
Drink the whole thing. And if at the end of the day you can build a decent home bar, start putting things together in 50-50 ratios and see how they play together.
Yeah.
And that's been one of the biggest things for like experiencing compound flavors and figuring out like, does this work together? Just take 50-50 of things that maybe you only use a bar spoon typically, but just put them together 50-50 and see what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rumpelmints and chartreuse, it's not super pleasant, but now I know that.
Experience is a great teacher.
I was gonna say, you're not about to hit me with a hard take like.
No, it's not good. But yeah,
But absinthe and Miller highlight.
sure is.
It's so good.
Absinthe and Red Bull, also sneaky great.
So with that, then I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure to follow the BlackFeatherBar on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. And make sure to check the description below for Portland Distilling Company and Goldie's Gin social medias down below. Give them a follow. And with that, bye.